Hello guys, welcome to our initial podcast. How are we all doing?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Good.
Doing good.
Anyways, the reason we're all up here today is because we're gonna have it's a new thing that we're trialing out. It's a little podcast of how our faith journey grew during all these times of Corona. It is a hard situation to practice your faith because one, we can't go to mass. Yes, there's the online services, but again, some people might not find that as the same spiritual experience that they get from going to church, going to adoration, all of that. So we're just here to talk to you about some of the things that we've done that has helped us, and hopefully, as a team, we could figure some new things out as well. All right, how should we start this, guys?
I mean, we want to talk about the sort of faith journey or changes over the last couple of weeks or months with the quarantine and isolation and everything kind of changing, how it sort of affected them. Don't all go at once, guys. Just so you look like you want to say something.
No, I was just gonna say that's a really loaded question though. Like, there's so much that has happened, personally speaking. Like, it's like I can't put it into a box of like what I feel. But like, obviously.
Okay. So for me, it's been kind of a roller coaster, to be honest, because it's just been completely all over the place. Like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's like when it's good, it's extremely good. When it's bad, it's extremely bad. So I feel like my whole quarantine and faith and everything has just been a bit really rough for me personally. I don't know if any of you guys felt that, but it was like when it was bad, like I said, it was the worst, but it was good, it was really good. So it's like, that's for me, it's just been up and down. There was no consistency, to be honest.
I feel like for me, in quarantine, we're stuck at home, so you have like so much time. It felt like I didn't know what to do with it, and I ended up procrastinating, like watching random things, binging shows and stuff. And then before I knew it, the day was like, it's already 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to pray. And yeah, I guess, and like that happened a few times. And then you're like, oh damn, like I don't know, I don't want to go back. Like, I keep doing this, I keep like straying and like being lazy with my personal prayer and like reading the Bible and stuff. But like, I just got to remember that God never like gets tired of welcoming you back. You just get tired of like being like, I'm sorry, I'm here again, please accept me.
Accept me again.
But yeah, it's been good so far. Like, I've been reading the Bible more. I finished reading the chapter of Tobit. It was a pretty cool story. Yeah, I liked it.
So it's like there's a book called Tobit in the Bible.
Tobiah. Nice. I was like,
she's friends with them, okay? She puts like nicknames.
Isn't it Tobiah? Tobiah is the
Tobias,
old guy,
yeah.
and Tobit is the son, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Or,
What? I thought it was the other way around.
Is it the other way around?
Tobit is the father, and then Tobias is the son.
Go on, we've got a few catechism teachers in this crew.
Oh no! I'm just like thinking, like, no, in my head I'm like, wait, this is an Old Testament, right?
This is the Old Testament.
Yeah, I was like, okay, good. I know what I'm.
It was really
So sad.
It was the story about the woman Sarah. She had 7 husbands, and like they all died because there was a demon that was in love with her.
Yeah.
Wait, that's in the Bible? Wait, what?
Yeah.
There are so many.
So much scandalous.
There are so many
Podcast is just
questions.
exposing us all.
Yeah, I know, right? The Bible.
I think for me, this whole journey, so when it started, I was just like, you know what, this is my time, I'm going to get closer to God, and I had all these plans, but I did nothing. I did not do any of my plans, and I was just like, okay, and then I started feeling a sense of guilt. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing anything extra, I'm just doing the same thing I'm doing already, and I kept on feeling guilty, but I didn't do anything about it. So I just kept on going, and I was just like, okay, this feels like I'm not doing anything for the Lord. What is happening? And the thing about God is just like sometimes we don't know what He's doing in our lives. He's working without us realizing. And sometimes we just need to pause for a second and just realize, wait, God is doing something. And I think for me, I noticed it was through my communication. So for me to talk to people, I love talking to people face to face and on the phone. Like and one to one. I hate texting people. You guys already know that. Like I'm really bad at it. I'm so bad at it that I try and avoid texting people. So the point that
Damn,
not like that. But
okay.
I kind of like my way of talking to people kind of was pushed to the side. So I found myself talking a lot to God. And I wasn't just talking to him about my family or my studies or my problems. I was actually talking about the most randomest things. Like, I'll look into the sky and I'm like, damn, God. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And I'm just talking to him about everything. And I think I realized that my communication with God was changing was when I started noticing on my studies. Because, like, now I have, like, obviously we all have assessments just coming on and on and on. And it's more work to do. And usually when it comes to uni, I stress out. And I stress out to the point that I cry and stress out. And I'm just, Leo knows this. He sees me and he's like, what the heck is wrong with you? That's how stressed I am. It's like someone like died in my family. That's how stressed I get. That's how I react. My bad. And I just got so emotional and I get really worried. But this time I noticed that I wasn't emotional at all. I was tired, I was nervous about the results and everything, but I just felt like, it's fine, because I was just, every day, I just kept on talking to God, and I just kept on communicating with Him to the point that, like, every assessment I did, I was just like, God help me, God do this, God do that. And it was just like, the more we communicate with God, I felt like the more I felt like I was trusting Him, because He was doing little things in my life that I didn't even realize He was doing. And I guess, like, we don't see God's work until we just stop and be like, okay, reflect back and see what He's doing. And I guess that's why I noticed, because I kept on thinking, I'm like, have I changed in my faith? And I was like, no, I have not. I have not increased during the Bible reading or anything. But I just realized was when I stopped and looked, I was like, oh, there might be some difference that has happened.
I think for me personally, before the whole lockdown and everything started, we all went to wireless minus Anju. So I think, and you guys know how good.
Reminder.
And you guys know how good of a spiritual experience I had at wireless, right? So I think coming back from wireless, I was still on that spiritual high that you get from every retreat that you go to, and usually, after I come back from a retreat, there's like uni, there's you get to like go to places, and there's a lot of distractions, and my spiritual high sort of comes down. But this time, I'm not going to uni, I'm just at home doing things around the house. And I think that's actually helped me be not distracted and focus more on working on my relationship with God. And something else that I've always wanted to try to read the Bible every day, right? I've always wanted to do it. I could never stick to like reading like a passage every day. Like I've always tried and it's never worked. And something that I started doing was starting to read like from Genesis, starting one chapter a day. And so far it's been going well. I'm up to Exodus chapter 34 today. So it's going really well.
Oh, that's
good job.
That's good.
Yeah, Genesis is a big book.
Oh yeah, so I got through Genesis, halfway into like Exodus now. Gonna go into the next one, which is Numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think that's actually helped me to like make sure I take time out of my day and make sure I sit down somewhere quiet and actually read the Bible. And I think also having friends who you can talk to about God, about how He's working in your life, and like friends that will actually check up on you and be like, have you prayed today? Have you read the Bible today? How are you talking to God? I think having friends like that in your life is also really important during lockdown as well. Yeah, that's me.
Me, because I've started work and all that, I don't think like the lockdown thing has affected me too much because I see people outside when I go to work. But one thing that's improved with me is my relationship with my family. I think like I go to work, I come back, like there's nowhere for me to go. You know, I can't go out, I can't go out to eat, blah, blah, blah. I'm really sad, but I think one positive thing that's come out of that is I'm spending a lot more time with my family. We're having a lot of fun. Everyone's home, and yeah, it's really helped me develop my love for my family and understand how family works. And yeah, that's one good thing about it.
Yeah, that's cute.
I feel like hang on, no, you go.
No, go on, Jess.
I feel like in many ways, older people say, oh, because of the lockdown, I wasn't able to do this, I wasn't able to do that. I think in a way, this lockdown sort of been like a blessing in disguise. And I think as time goes on, we're all, you know, when we go back to being busy, when we go back to being at uni or like going out with our friends, we'll just be like, oh, remember that time I could just sit at home and like my mum would be in like the other room, or like dad would be in the other room. I could just like go over and talk to them anytime. Or like all the days that I just like spent in my bed because I could just relax. So I definitely think this lockdown is a blessing in disguise, and we will realize it very soon once we get back to our normal lives.
Sure.
I think, I don't know, the whole quarantine thing has been a little bit, sorry, for those of you watching, so some of us have like cameras and then some of us have like Discords on the side, so that's why we're kind of switching between screens. But quarantine, it's been a little bit of a weird one for me because I guess we've been pretty lucky here, or like amongst the people that we know, in that most of us have been pretty well. We've been, you know, pretty safe, we've been able to work from home and all that. But then, you know, you hear the stories and you hear the news of like, you know, the vast amount of suffering that's kind of going on around the world. And then like we're kind of like, you know, like the biggest struggle for me is like, what do I do today? Like I can't go outside, you know, like what I'm supposed to do today. Like days are kind of just flowing like endlessly now, between like sleeping, eating, doing some random stuff, and the whole cycle again. So it's been weird because I know there's like so many people suffering, you know, so many people have like unfortunately lost their lives. You know, there's, you know, you look at all like the health workers that are, you know, putting in like tireless hours. You know, even like people like restaurant shops, you know, kind of, or like even like places like Woolies, Coles, kind of being there and like keeping those stores open for everyone else. It's I don't know how to feel about it, because like you guys were saying, I feel like it's definitely been a blessing. I remember like talking with Leo earlier in the year, talking about how big 2020 was going to be. Even like just things like SMYM and like Bali stuff, like we had an international gathering planned in Rome, we had Unite planned in Brisbane, we had proclaims, we had retreats. Like April for us here in Adelaide anyway, is one of the busiest times.
Hectic.
We had like catechism retreat planned, youth retreat planned, and then it all kind
We're
of...
gonna do the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah, we had the Stations of the Cross, so...
I'm so sad about that.
So for those of you guys from interstate, we were planning to do a live action Stations of the Cross for the first time here in Adelaide. We've been wanting to do it for years, and we started planning for
And
it.
it was gonna go so good.
Yeah, we literally had like one practice for it, and then all of this happened. So, yeah, and everything's kind of just been put on pause. But I think the one out of many good things that has come out of this is we've had to kind of be creative in our faith. You know, like we've had to kind of step outside our comfort zone and step outside the kind of normality of faith. To kind of, you know, how can we now like evangelize? How can we kind of like share that faith when we're all stuck at home? And I think it's like brought a lot of like sort of hidden talents, or like hidden sort of skills that people didn't really know that they had. I mean, even in this group, like half the team is now like professional like video editors now, which is pretty awesome to see. But yeah, just, you know, like pretty much every day there's something happening online, whether it's here in Adelaide or like, you know, around the world, and it's awesome to see that, I don't know, we're kind of adapting to it, and kind of, because faith is like, there is no like normal in faith, right? Like faith is such like a awe-inspiring, awesome thing. You can't just contain it to like, this is normal, this isn't normal. And so it's great to see that we're kind of all adapting and kind of still being able to share our faith from the confines of our own home.
It's like we don't have an excuse anymore to be like, oh, I can't do this,
right?
I
Like,
can't do that. Yeah.
Like there's basically like a mass being live streamed like every hour. So it's like, well, what's your excuse for not going to mass? So, yeah. But it's interesting, because it's like now when masses start happening again, are we all going to be used to the comfort of having a mass available to us every hour from the confined
That's
spot?
the thing, yeah.
That we're
Yeah.
not going to be like, do I need to go to church? Can I not just watch it from home? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm pretty sure I
That
should.
one weekend before. Sorry,
No, go on.
go.
No, I was gonna say like
The
Archie.
one weekend. Oh. Wait, so go first.
I was
Go
gonna
first.
say like I'm pretty sure Archie's would be like, nah, you guys are obligated to come. It's like you can't make an excuse anymore.
Yeah, that one weekend where we didn't have like the daily masses like organized because quarantine. I think they started telling we couldn't go to like churches and stuff from a Friday. So that from that Friday and Saturday there was no daily mass, and it felt so weird. And I didn't know we were gonna have daily mass. So that time of not knowing was so weird, and I was so bummed out. I was surprised how bummed out I was, just with the idea that we might not have masses as regularly as we used to. Like, it was such a weird feeling. And then we did, so it was good.
I think through this process as well, we find the value we give for like certain things. Like you were saying, how you found that mass, like that, or like you find out like how much you read the Bible or something. It kind of gives you the understanding of like how much importance do I give to my faith as well. So.
yeah, because I guess looking back at some of the other stuff that said, like, I really kind of understood what Leo meant with like the whole, like what he said at the start, kind of like a roller coaster faith-wise. Because I know that when masses first stopped, I was kind of like, all right, you know, masses have stopped. It makes sense. I wonder when we're going to start again. Whereas, you know, my parents, they were like completely devastated.
Yeah.
Like I remember the last mass we had at our Pali, like usually for weekday
Thursday.
masses, Achin doesn't give, well, Achin never really gives the blood during our, like, the blood of Christ during our ceremonial blood masses anyway. But I remember he like dipped the host and he gave it to all of us during that last mass. And so like I remember like the mood amongst a lot of the parents, they were like, oh, you know, what are we going to do? Like masses have stopped, when is this going to start again? And I was kind of just like, yeah, all right, you know, fair enough. We might have like, I'm sure there'll be like live stream masses across like Shalom or something. And then, this is going to be a bit of a test mess. This might be a little bit long, so I apologize for that. But for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty passionate about media. So ever since masses kind of stopped here anyways, I kind of had a feeling in my heart that I should maybe ask like Achin or the Padli if we want to try live streaming masses. We have a camera, you know, we have all the technology available to us, so we pretty easily set it up. And I thought about it for a few days, and then one day I was gonna message Christina. So Christina is our parish youth director in the committee. I was gonna be like, yo, does the committee want any help setting up a live stream mass or anything? And funnily enough, that day itself, one of the uncles from church called me, and he was like, oh, we're gonna start, you know, doing live stream masses through Zoom. Can you come help out? They needed like a tripod and stuff and everything, which I had at home. So I was like, sure, awesome, sounds great. So I go there, and we start doing it through Zoom, and I'm kind of like, because when it comes to stuff that you're passionate about, I guess in general, you know, you love putting your heart and soul into it. Even if something works well, you kind of want to kind of step it up, right? You kind of want to make it better and all that. So I was like, all right, so I've seen, you know, how Shalom masses happen. They have cool graphics, you know, nice HD. I kind of want to step it up for.
Oh my God!
I kind of want to step it up for our parish as well. I mean, the Zoom, like, I mean, I feel like Zoom has been a pretty big godsend for like the whole world, with everything
Right.
we be able to do through it and other apps like it. But I was like, all right, how can we step it up? So for about the next, you know, week or so, I kind of like dove head in, figuring out how to like, because we were using a phone to do the Zoom masses, and I was like, I got a camera, I got a pretty decent computer, I want to add some fancy logos and everything. And Easter week was coming up as well, and obviously Holy Week is, you know, one of the biggest weeks in the church, and it really did feel weird that we weren't at church, because, you know, again, I was telling Leo that like,
Right?
So weird.
from kind of Palm Sunday onwards, we're kind of like at church every single day, and it's like a non-stop, just kind of like the hustle and bustle of Easter, which we didn't have this year, which was a little bit sad. But obviously for Easter, especially for the Easter midnight, I was like, this mass needs to be like banging. Like obviously every mass is, you know, amazing, but you know, like
But this one needs to
this
top.
one needs to top. Like this one needs to be epic. And I guess the one kind of blessing that we had in Australia anyways was that our Prime Minister let us use the churches for Holy Week. So he gave us an exception for that. And so luckily enough for like Holy Week, we were able to use like a full like computer setup. We were able to use like a mixer, you know, a nice HD camera, and we were able to like, again, you know, people weren't able to come to mass, but we were able to kind of, to the best of our abilities, you know, portray or like convey the best sort of quality of mass that we could, which for me was really, because like, you know, like I said, you know, when masses first stopped, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, masses have stopped, but it was really overwhelming for me being able to attend mass at church for East Week especially, because I'm kind of like, you know, there's hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people who are kind of stuck at home not being able to go to mass, and there's me kind of, you know, that one sort of sheep out of that huge flock that's kind of being given this opportunity to attend mass, and it was really overwhelming for me because, you know, like I was saying, my faith, like Leo's, has kind of been like a roller coaster, especially during this, and I was like, I know for a fact that there are so many more deserving people that should be here at mass, but like, it was very clear to me that kind of God wanted me to be there, and it was a very like spiritually renewing sort of experience, you know, especially being there for Easter midnight mass, using the talents and skills that God has given me to help deliver mass to my community, to my like family and friends. It was a very tear-jerking sort of experience for me. So yeah, that's kind of been a quarantine for me.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah.
praise God.
Okay,
Yeah.
Praise God.
Has
Jevin?
anyone- Yeah, Jevin.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, for me, with masters and everything's just been hectic. So before all of this quarantine business, like every day I used to pray, like, I used to get home like really late from uni and stuff. So, like just എനിക്ക് സമയം കിട്ടുമ്പോഴായിരുന്നു like പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. That sounds really bad, but I didn't know how to like manage my time at that time. So I used to just like, you know, say quick, like, you know, rosary or like something just before going to bed. And then the problem was that I always just used to pray just, I guess, for myself, especially during the first weeks of masters. I was like, Kartave, please, അടുത്ത test നല്ലതായിട്ട് പോണേ, like stuff like that. But then through quarantine, I kind of realized that I don't actually have it that bad here. It's not that bad. Like, there are so many other people who are suffering, who can't get food, necessities, who are basically just stuck at home with, well, nothing to do. They just can't do anything. There's also been like deaths, so people could be affected by that. So I just thought, it's not right that I'm just praying for myself here when I don't have it that bad. So I started making it a daily thing to make sure that I include others, and to make sure that, you know, this could probably be resolved a bit quicker, because, you know, we could possibly, with God's help, end people suffering quicker, I guess. So yeah, pretty much. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess things
Realize
like
the
this.
importance. Yeah.
Like, oh, mate.
I mean, yeah, it's, again, as Sus was saying, it's the importance of reflection that really got through to me, because I was just like, I really need to take some time out of the day, just think about what's going on, realize how I have it, and then think about what other people could be going through. So yeah, that was a big eye-opener for me during this time. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like unfortunately it takes stuff like this for us to kind of realize that it's not always
Yeah.
about us.
Mm.
You know, like I guess we have a very limited time on this earth, and it's kind of like, what can we do for others? Like what?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, we're all here for a specific reason. You know, there's something that God wants us to kind of do in our lives that only we can sort of do. And it's kind of like, you know, during this, you know, short sort of gift that we have on this earth, what can we sort of do for others? Whether it's like Jevin was saying, you know, whether it's, you know, praying for them, whether it's, you know, getting in touch with people we haven't gotten in touch with in a little bit of while, you know, just, you know, simple things, just kind of checking up on others and just making sure, you know, we're all kind of getting through this okay. So.
Yeah, I think checking up on others was like really important, and like praying for others, because being stuck at home, especially for those suffering with like mental illness and stuff, being alone with your thoughts for so long, can be really difficult,
Depression.
especially if you don't
Yeah.
have like a good home life and stuff. So yeah, like just praying for them and keeping them in mind was a really important thing that I felt like I needed to do, and I made a conscious effort to do, because yeah, like staying at home, it's really important, but for a lot of people, going outside, having that human interaction, leaving the home is like their form of coping and just
Yeah.
surviving. So them not having that is really tough for them. So yeah,
Mm.
I just kept them in my prayers and hope they're getting through it okay. With
So I
God's
guess
strength.
even like even I guess like even messaging or like calling people up, like, you know, that you haven't really talked to. I mean, you always see them before all of this, but now you can't have that chance. So just calling them up, seeing how they're doing, just, you know, just helping them cope. That would help you as well, because it's probably going to be
Exactly.
communication. And that's why I really like the new national program,
Sugamano.
Super
Yeah.
plug.
Sigurano.
Little
Plug.
There you go.
That was such a sick segue.
Thank you. I've been working on that one.
Just mentally preparing.
Of course. There you go. So, yeah, get on that. It should be good.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
like
keen for
there was
that
this
too.
like one point during quarantine where I wasn't feeling like mentally the best. Like I was just feeling very down, and I didn't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. Like I just wanted to like be isolated and like just sit there and think and dwell. And that was not good, because I'm just dwelling, and like it's a repetitive like cycle, and it's not very, you know, good when you're just stuck in that cycle. And I remember like one of my friends like checked up on me, and at that moment that very simple message meant so much, like because I was like, oh, like, you know, I feel loved, I feel cared for, like, and that was just so important. Like a few words from that person, like 2 seconds from them, meant so much to me at that time. So I cannot imagine how important it would be for like people who had it worse, you know.
Yeah, so I reckon we're getting to the half an hour mark. Don't want to bore you guys too much, just us kind of rambling away. But does anyone have any sort of, I mean, none of us are saints, but does anyone sort of have any kind of stuff that they could maybe suggest, or maybe any ideas that, you know, maybe some others could use in sort of helping to kind of grow a little bit more spiritually, or maybe just, you know, some self-love sort of tips, or just anything they kind of want to share before we sort of wrap it up today?
Yeah, this is gonna sound like a total like meathead thing, but I think exercise.
I was
Coming
actually
from
going to
me.
bring it up.
Guys, promoting.
Exercise.
Super plug
like-
coming up.
Guys, follow our page. Follow our Instagram page for updates.
Watch for more videos coming out.
We got some good stuff.
How
I think-
important exercise is when it, like,
Yeah.
when just movement in general, when it comes to just being stuck at home versus like when you can go out, you're moving every day almost. But like when you're isolated, you're stuck at home, like you never realize how little movement you actually get. So I feel like some form of exercise movement is extremely important, not just for physically, but for your health, mentally as well.
Yeah.
So that's one huge thing. Like I feel everyone should do, like get some form of exercise.
I think one thing we should do is check up on each other, but check up on yourself as well. Like look at yourself. Like, am I feeling okay? You know, that's important as well. And just reflect back on what you are doing and how you are as a person. Because I think we sometimes forget to look after ourselves when we're so focused on helping others. So I guess it's just look at yourself. Am I feeling okay? Talk to God, talk to people, and just find some kind of security yourself.
And like with that, if you sense that you're not good, don't be disheartened. Like there's always, it's always gonna get better. You don't know what God can do in a matter of hours even. So just keep at it, keep persevering through those hard times, and just surrender it all to God, and literally He will take care of it. You don't have to stress, you don't have to worry, but yeah, just surrender it and keep going. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And I think
Yeah,
also
it's-
like try to reach out to other people as well. So like Donna just said, if you're going through that, if you're not feeling too good, if you're going through that low, rather than closing off and trying to think, yeah, I can get through this by myself, like Donna said, offer it up to God. But at the same time, if there's someone you trust, talk to them about it as well. So sometimes like talking to people and getting things off your chest helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. Like, don't think that reaching out for help is a sign of weakness. I think there's even more like strength in asking for help. I think it shows that you have a lot of strength within yourself to kind of put your own sort of ego and sort of feelings aside and being like, hey, like, can I talk to you? Can I kind of just open up and just rant to you for a bit? So yeah, just like Jess and Donna said, reach out, don't be afraid, and
Yeah.
Anyone else? Well, we're gonna wrap it up.
Sorry. So, okay. I like recently I was reading some like psychology like articles and papers and stuff, because there was like cool psych tricks to like do this, that, all that kind of stuff. So I was reading that, and then I came across this one quote that was just like, it was from this like child, so I didn't think too much about it. But then I like remember when I was praying, like the whole quote came back to mind, and it was motivation comes from doing. So like for the longest time I wouldn't want to pray or like read the Bible because I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I want to feel it so I can like really be involved and focused when I'm doing it. But then I remember getting this quote over and over in my head, and I was like, just because you don't like feel like reading the Bible that day doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't. You should like try to make it a consistent thing so that like eventually that fire is also consistent. Because it's not gonna start off, like even if it starts off burning and like, loud and you want to just keep praying, one day it's going to die out. So like trying to find a consistent flame is where you need to like focus instead of like burst of flame, because that is never reliable. So yeah, that's like one thing I've been trying to do, like trying to maintain consistency, like in prayer, even when I don't feel like it.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think something Leo would always like tell me when I would say I don't want to exercise or like do like exercise at home. He would always be like, takes 21 days for things to be a habit.
Yeah.
21? Yeah. So like Christina said,
days
if
to
you
create a
maintain
habit,
that
90 days to
consistency, it would get to a point where if you don't do it, it doesn't feel right. So like now if I don't pray or read my chapter from the Bible, it doesn't feel right. And so like she said, motivation comes from doing. So the more you do it, the more encouraged you are to keep doing that.
Like I've made so many plans. I remember like the eve of my birthday, I remember writing down like this year is gonna be different. Like I wrote it down so I could make it like I could hold myself accountable if it didn't work. And it didn't work. Like 2 or 3 times I had to rewrite my plan. But like it's the thing is like you need to keep going back. It's like being apathetic is where everything goes downhill, because by being apathetic it means you don't care. You're just numb and you're just gonna sit there and watch life pass by. But if you keep trying, you fall back, and then you keep trying, you get back up, you keep trying. It's like that. That's what's important. That's what's most important. That's what you need to keep trying to hold on to and continue doing. Because we are all humans. We can never, like, it's never going to be just perfect. Like one day we're not gonna just be like, I'm here, this is the peak of my spirituality, I'm done, and just maintain that. You're gonna get there, and then you're gonna fall back down, and then you need to find your find the strength to climb back up to that peak, and maybe even greater. Like you never know.
And I also think being thankful for everything that we have, even the littlest things, like we're all safe and in good health, right? We have an income, our family's good, our family back in India is good. So I think being thankful to God about every little thing in this moment is very important as well.
Also with being thankful, I just think it's important to reflect. I know for the longest time I didn't like reflecting, because then I would be thinking about all the dumb things that I said or did, and I did not like remembering all the stupid things that I've done or said. I just wanted to forget it. But like by reflecting, you can improve yourself, and like, you know, you can grow. Like, you'd never want to be stunted in your growth. You want to continue growing, like just in life and in faith as well. So always like reflecting like helps, like being able to like give thanks, because I know quarantine didn't feel too real for me. Like, I was like, it's fine, it'll be like blow over in 2 weeks. But then I would remember watching the news and see like people struggling, and then like that sense of gratitude came in, where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so blessed and privileged to have a healthy family, like here and back at home. Like, you know, sure, I can't go to uni, but like my studies are not affected. Like, people I love are not affected. Everyone is safe. Like, we have masks, and nothing has changed for me, like majorly, compared to so many other people around the world. So being able to give thanks for that was by reflecting, because at the start, even though quarantine was happening, because I wasn't thinking too much about it, like I didn't give thanks. It was just whatever. But like once I started thinking about it and realizing how blessed I was when I was being like able to give thanks, like most sincerely. That's it.
Well, yeah, I think that wraps up our first podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the first time, so do let us know, you know, if you guys have any sort of feedback or any suggestions, even with topics, like things you guys want us to talk about, let us know. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Woo!
Should we close
See
it
you
with
next time.
Yeah, should we close it with a prayer to kind of to wrap it
Yeah,
up?
we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone lead it. Let's go.
Okay, I'll lead it.
Alright, go for it.
Nice.
In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for filling each and every one of us with your Spirit and allowing us to speak our mind and talk about things, all these different things, and give us perspective. Thank you for filling us with the courage to say what we want. Thank you for allowing everything to go smoothly. Like, I pray that the audio and video and stuff will work out. But yeah, thank you so much for being in our presence. Even though we're so far apart, we still felt your presence. And thank you for allowing us to do this initiative. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us
Today
this
our
day
daily
daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Mama Mary, thank you so much for praying for us and keeping us in your prayers. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God,
pray
for us sinners, now
and at the hour
of our death.
Amen.
Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
In the beginning, it is now, and it shall be, world without end. Amen. Peace be with you guys.
Peace be with you.
And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys next. Remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Like
plug.
Yeah, we've got like, you know, fitness challenges and fitness videos and lifestyle videos coming out as well. And also stay in touch
We have
with
so many things planned.
Subscribe as well, yes. And also stay in touch with the Parky Youth Apostolate page as well. We have a lot of initiatives coming out. Like Jevin mentioned, you know, we have Sugamano to kind of just, you know, reach out to others around us. And we've got many things planned as well. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys are all keeping
Keep safe, everyone.
Yeah. Butterflies.
Cue the outro music, yeah?
Bye.
When I give